Hello and welcome to the Hoof GP, guys. My name's Graham Parker and this channel looks at cow hoof care. It follows mine and Craig's life in the world of agriculture, and today we're looking at why this cow cost us over $100,000 to trim her feet. That's £85,000. If you haven't already done it, smash the subscribe button right now and get us towards 500,000 and enjoy the rest of the video. You're joining us today on our way to the first of two farms. We're looking at a cow with half a foot and talking about how expensive one cow can be to trim. Our first farm today is a regular for us, where we're going to be trimming 30 to 40 Montbéliard cows, and it should be straightforward enough. So let's get cracking and get the crush set up.
Do you remember when we went to Paris in July? Got stuck out in the rain, but we danced around and didn't mind it.
So we're all set up and trimming at farm number one, and we've got about 45-ish to do here. The first 40 or so have nothing wrong with them, but the next 4 or 5 do have slight problems. So this should be easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Haha, said it first time there. You guys usually see the tough, horrible and gnarly feet, but in reality, this is what we usually trim. Feet that don't have much wrong with them at all, but could do with a little tidy up.
Silent treatment, is this what it feels like?
I mainly do the trimming and Craig does too, but it's his main job to get the cows in, isn't it, Craig? And luckily for me, he's really good at it.
The cows we're trimming today have all been dried off, ready to give birth to their calves, which basically means they're not milking right now, and it's the perfect time to check and retrim all of their feet to make sure that they're in tip-top condition.
You okay? Yep, I'm good. It's just she's not where she's meant to be. She's back. Come on.
We kind of work in a really good and fluent routine. Basically, Craig goes, gets the next cow, gets it lined up, and then as I'm trimming the other one, he'll input the one behind's details and maybe even lift its front feet. And then if there's time, Craig will begin to trim. But the priority is that there's always a cow waiting behind the crush.
So far so good. We've trimmed about 26, 27. Not had any problems at all. Well, tiny little cracks, but they don't count as problems. And this is all we've got left here. So Craig is keeping these cows into different lots, and then as they go through the crush, they're away straight back to the field so that they can get back to their fresh, lush grass. It's good that Craig's here because it means I don't have to go in there, get all dirty. What he's doing is, there's a lot here of about 15 cows. He's keeping them at one end, bringing one cow up at a time, pulling them in the back of the crush, and we don't have a race, so we've rigged together some gates, and then one cow follows the other cow through the chute crush cow holding machine. I get them all hooked up in the crush and then do their feet while he grabs another cow.
Hey, now look into my eyes. You can use it as a mirror. You're my ticket to paradise.
Hey, now everything's alright. We've been longing for each other, and it feels like I'm on cloud nine.
So here's one of the very few cows that did have a problem of sorts. As you can see, she has a crack in that back right hand claw, and I suspect it goes all the way through to the corium. And as you can see, as it turns out, happily, I was wrong. Cracks like this usually appear on the medial or inner claw, and they can be a sign that cows are standing too long, and I thought this was maybe an abnormal case where it had happened on the outer claw. Cracks like this can easily materialise into serious problems if they're left unchecked, so this is one cow who has completely avoided lameness.
And that's the first farm done and dusted, apart from cleaning up. Let's get to it. I'm probably absolutely filthy, aren't I? Due time to about 40 cows here. It's lunchtime, and I'm due at my next place at lunchtime. I like to use terms like, I'll be there at lunchtime, or I'll be there just after lunch, because it kind of gives you an hour and a half's leeway, doesn't it? And that way you don't seem like you're late. Anyway, let's get cracking.
I can feel the sun on my skin.
This is Whithorn, the birthplace of Christianity in Great Britain, and our next farm lies right on the edge of the village. Whithorn is one of Scotland's southerlymost towns, and it's absolutely steeped in history.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow.
Let's see what the crack is here then. Here we have the auspicious dairyman in its natural habitat. These creatures are very strange and have very weird habits. Let's look at it in its natural habitat. The dairyman hunts his prey and looks very strange. This is him in his camouflage gear. Mark's my brother-in-law. That's why we can take the of him.
Here's Graham's reversing skills. Don't know how good they'll be, but time will tell. Concentrating, he's got his tongue hanging out like a dog out the window. It's actually Craig that's the brains of the operation, as you can see. I'm just doing the voiceover for you, see if you're doing it later.
Cancel the voiceover. So there aren't as many to do here as there were at the last place. We have about 20 to do, but they all have some slight problems because these cows actually come from farms all over the country because they're bought up by the farmer here and then redistributed. And we're getting anything that seems uncomfortable. So there are some lameness issues here, but they're not actually from this farm. They're inherited, so to speak. So guys, this is the cow that cost us just over $100,000 to trim. She's an expensive little lady, isn't she? But she is beautiful and worth it. But come on, in reality, this cow alone did not cost us over $100,000 or £85,000. The chute, the pickup, and the equipment we use, however, did. People are always asking me, how much does this cost? How much does that cost? How much do you make? How much do you charge? How much? This chute is $62,000. That's delivered to me in the UK. So that works out at around about £52,000 or £53,000, which is a lot of money. But when you think what it can actually make back and how good it is for the cows and for me and for Craig working it every day, it's money really well spent. The pickup truck we use, it cost around $30,000, which is about £22,000 or thereabouts. We have 4 grinders, each one is $100. Batteries are $100 each. So by the time you add it all up, it comes to $109,000, which seems like an awful lot of money to trim some cows' feet, doesn't it? But this is an exceptionally important part of agriculture and an exceptionally important part of dairy farming in particular. If these cows aren't walking well, they're not commercially viable. They won't eat properly, they won't be as fertile as usual, they take much more man management, veterinary bills. Plus, it's terrible looking at lame cows, and we owe it to them as animals providing us with our living and the food that we eat. But is it worth it business-wise? Yes, definitely. Each cow we trim costs around £10 or $13. So for every cow we trim, we're earning about $13, but a lot of that is reinvested back into the business in the way of the crush you see behind us, the materials we're constantly using. We're always burning out grinders, losing knives, wearing through knives and breaking things. So if I only wanted to trim this cow that's in the crush right now using the materials and the equipment that we've got, then she technically would have cost me $110,000 to trim, but in reality it just cost the farmer $13 or £10. Anyway, let's continue trimming. The first crush that I used, that I built myself, cost about £4,000, which is $5,000, somewhere around about there. And to be honest, I got what I paid for. Considering I made it myself, I did a good job. But these things have huge amounts of hydraulic components, computerized systems inside it that are working the electrics, and a lot of steel. That's a sexy foot, isn't it? Nice. Double nice. Maybe not so nice. Let's see.
Tomorrow, there's no time to borrow today.
I'll be honest, I thought it was going to be a problem. Next! These days can feel really long sometimes, but we still enjoy our life, still enjoy our work. This old girl got big feet.
Just like many of you sitting there on the couch with your coffee in your hand watching these videos, I have had a few career changes over the years, from being a butcher to a PR manager, a hotelier to a restaurant manager, a freeze brander to a hoof trimmer. And this is the one I've stuck at the longest, by a mile. This has been my vocation for almost 10 years now, and in that time I've trimmed somewhere between 160 and 170,000 cows. And I still love this job. It's the variety that keeps me coming back and keeps me smiling. Trimming a foot like this, which is long, twisted and overgrown, to a short foot that has an ulcer on the heel. I get to take a cow which is in serious pain and struggling to walk, and make her completely healthy once again and give her a rejuvenated life. And I get paid for it. And I think it's safe to say I'm in this job for the duration. So this cow has tonychosis, but this is one that we've treated time and time again, and now it's completely healed. Obviously she only has half a digit, which is less than ideal, but she is not in pain at all. There's no bone in here. So this part of the foot still has the rear part of the beetle bone, and this part rotted away a few months ago, but we've managed to completely heal her by returning and returning and returning to this foot. She is far more comfortable and not in pain anymore. And as you'll see, this cow walks perfectly well. She's not in pain at all anymore. Maybe it doesn't look fantastic, but it's job done on our end. Okay, so rather than walking, she runs perfectly well. That is the last cow trimmed for today. Just under 80 in total. It's been a long day, but it's been a good one. This channel represents the story of my life, the trials, the tribulations, and the cows which feature in it. When I was growing up, I dreamed of becoming a farmer just like my dad. I never realised that my story would lead me down this path, to becoming a professional hoof trimmer. But it did, and I'm very glad that this is the life I get to call my own. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.
It said, son, when you grow up, you'll be fine. I know you've got questions on your mind. Life is gonna